Never getting married. That's the way
That didn't work out so well.
Never to a girl from Alabama. I'd have never thought her, the old
Right.
Polaroids back
Right.
then.
Hey everybody, welcome back. I'm really excited to get into what we're going to learn today. I've got incredible guests with me. I've got Jason and Misty here. They've been so gracious to come in and they're going to share their story with us. You know, trauma has a way of impacting our relationships. And a lot of times trauma uncovers things that may have already not been super healthy in the first place, but it also sometimes introduces new challenges. You know, relationships are hard enough as it is, so obviously adding complexity to that. And today we've got two combat vets we're going to talk to a little bit about this. And hopefully if you're watching at home and you've experienced trauma, maybe you're going through some relationship crisis right now, we want you to know there's hope after that and that redemption and restoration is possible. And today we're going to share with you a few key things you can do to start building your relationships again following a painful experience. So you guys, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you guys sharing your story. It's amazing. It's an incredible story. So how did you guys meet? Tell me, what was that connection like?
You can take this one.
Okay. We ended up in the same squad in our very first duty station in Panama. A couple of privates right out of boot camp, basic training, and AIT MPs.
Yeah.
And yeah, he scared me to death first time I saw him because I was not interested in having a serious relationship and never getting married. That's the way
That didn't work out so well.
No, it didn't.
Yeah.
No, he charmed my socks off. It took about a year, but
Yeah, it was one of those play hard to get, type thing. So
Yeah. She was playing hard to death?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Kind of the same thing too. I had no aspirations to get married at first, and never to a girl from Alabama. I'd have never thought that.
Easy.
So
Where are you from?
Ohio, Northeast Ohio.
Ohio. Okay,
Yeah.
got it.
Yeah.
So let me ask you. So you guys are both in the military, which introduces lots of complexity at this time because you're constantly deploying, constantly going to trainings, and yet you still found time. So you get married. And when did you start really deploying heavily? When was sort of the first time you guys thought, okay, we're going to a war zone? Who went first? Give us some background on that.
yeah, we got married really early in our career, 94.
Okay.
Had our first son within the
Different army back then, right?
It was a lot different,
Yeah.
especially being a woman
Yeah.
and the only woman in the entire unit.
Wow.
And then had our first baby at our, during the first year. He deployed actually first to the Kosovo and Bosnia era, and those were some tough times for me because I had the MP job as well as the home front and the babies.
Yep.
So that was a little challenging, but we survived it.
Yeah, we were, I'd say lucky, but we were able to go through, I don't know, probably 3 or 4 deployments, lengthy ones, not just little 3-month or 6 months, but, and then,
Prior to now.
prior to 9/11. And so,
So what changed after 9/11?
We had definitely some tough seasons. We almost fell apart right before it, right at the beginning of it.
right at the beginning of 9/11, or right after it. At that time, we were senior leadership too, so we were in charge of anywhere, 60 plus soldiers and younger, trying to take care of all of them, trying to take care of the house, trying to take care of us.
Okay, so then deployments start to happen. You deployed first, right? And in post 9/11 time, and things began to change. And did you start to see yourself change, or was it gradual? Was there a specific moment that changed you that you feel like, wow, that was a turning point for me?
One thing that, by the grace of God, we were able to figure out before it was too late and too much damage was done was that we can't feed the negativity off each other. A lot of stuff was going on downrange. For the first time, he was doing the home front.
Wow.
And the job, which was, 80, 100 hours a week too. Whenever we would talk, it was just us dumping on each other. Everything that sucked at home and everything that sucked overseas. I was getting counseled by my chaplain in my cell at the time too. And that was huge for me personally. And when we talked one time crying, I was just like, we're just going to talk about the kids and happy things and the plans that we're going to have whenever I get back home. And that was the first 15-month deployment.
Okay.
Was when I went. We got hit for the 15-monthers back then. And it was tough, but I think we persevered pretty good that first time.
Yeah.
Towards the end.
Yeah, I never really at one certain point thought, all right, this is it, no more. And one of the driving factors was I couldn't let somebody else, be the dad or fill my shoes, so whatever it took, it doesn't matter, we've always put family first, you know, and, you know, from private to all the way, you know, to probably about your 15th, you know, 12th or 15th year, you're working to get ahead, to get up there.
Right.
You know, and about that, at the expense of your family. And unfortunately, we went through that, you know, and that's where we were at. But then once we got there, we did realize, and so we start to mentor, you know, our younger soldiers and peers and stuff. Is look, at the 20 years, you know, you're going to have all these certificates on the wall and a great plethora of medals and stuff.
Yeah.
What do you want more? You want more certificates, or do you want more, you know, digital photos, or, you know, the old Polaroids back then, you know? So that was a real
shaking them. Pictures to appear. Yeah, of course.
So that was a real defining moment when somebody told me that. I'm like, that was the light bulb for me.
Yeah.
You know. So.
How about you, Misty? Similar? Would you say you agreed with all that, or were there moments for you that you were like, I'm not sure we can do it?
I never wanted to give up on our marriage. I was always willing to fight for it.
What do you attribute your guys' ability to sort of push through to? I mean, what makes your guys' relationship different?
When we got to those points, those darkest points, again, it was outside root issues that were trying to tear us apart. And luckily, I was able to recognize that.
Give me an example of a root issue.
Incontentment.
Okay.
Because of, I think for him it was he had some regrets on some decisions he made for his job, and it was easy to kind of make it about me, rather than the decisions that he made himself.
You know, trying to do better. You know, better yourself. Hey, if I do this, or maybe change to another job, you know, I can get more money, or, you know, a little bit more glamour.
Right.
And just, you know, things didn't always work out. And then again, just, you know, realizing, you know, the family comes first.
It's interesting. A lot of the, you know, having done this for several years, it's what I find is there's three things that typically we as men especially are drawn towards that usually ends up to the detriment of our relationships. And I always say it's the 3 G's: gold, glory, and girls, right? So if I'm either chasing the gold, I'm chasing the glory of my, you know, other people's approval, or I'm chasing women, you know, girls.
Yeah.
And it seems like time and time again, those are the three things that they're constantly there saying, like, hey, I could make you an offer, right? I could give you something that maybe you can't have in and of yourself and your relationship doesn't have. And so if you're watching this at home, right, and maybe you're in this situation, what advice would you guys have for people who are maybe they're still hanging on by a thread, maybe they have, you know, an ounce of hope yet, maybe they even have faith, right? Like what God says He'll do. I know He's going to restore my marriage, but I'm not seeing it yet. What advice would you have for them based on kind of your guys' experiences?
Well, first and foremost, I would say you got to stay the course. You know, don't give up.
Yeah.
It's easy to just say, all right, I'm up. You know, and I'm guilty of that. You know, it's easy on many occasions. You know, stay the course, and then just, you know, prioritize, you know, what's most important in life.
I know that for me, it was, I can only control my actions.
That's a good one.
I can only make decisions for me.
Yeah.
And the only thing I can do is pray for him. I can't change him. I can't make him do anything. If I can fix me to be the way that I'm supposed to be, you know, like my earrings say, be light. If I can do that, it's gonna bleed out on everything around me and fix everything that might be messed up. And I learned that not too long ago. I mean, pretty recently actually, that I can only control what I do.
Yeah. Yeah.
The biggest thing is the communication, trying to figure things out, and then working it out.
You have to dump everything on the person you loves you the most.
Right. And yet they got their own stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's a give and take both ways, and it's just a conscious effort of putting each other first. But the ones who suffered the most through all this, I'd have to say, is our older kids. That's like my biggest regret, and as far as like trauma and stuff, is what we did to our older kids during that time.
They were the kids now, but now they're, you know, 20, 21, and 24.
Up,
yeah. You know, at the time, like she's alluding to, is things we missed out on. But then, you know, both of them say, but they wouldn't be where they are today. So
as adults,
we've
made a lot of peace. So.
Yeah.
So I guess where do you guys feel like now, God's brought you through this in your career, He's brought you through this in a relationship. How do you see that sort of playing out now and sort of all that pain, all that experience leading to something more?
I think from my side, it's one word comes to mind, it's comfortable. Comfortable in my own skin, and comfortable with her. It's no longer,
it's beautiful.
Well, she does that, it's that she does it because she likes it, she wants to do it. So go have fun and do it, you know. And it's the same thing, with me. If I want to go out and do something or whatever, she's, all right, I'll see you tonight, you know.
Yeah. How about you?
I agree. Same thing. It's just putting each other first with everything, and nothing else should overshadow the relationship, or even the kids. Mm-hmm. You have to make time for each other. And respect is a good one for me.
Yeah. So if you're watching home, just a few key takeaways. What can you do for your relationships? The first is, what I hear is, make decisions based on facts first, faith, facts, and feelings in that order, as opposed to feelings, facts, and faith. Kind of flip the order on that. The second one is, I would say, give a lot of grace to the other person. Be quick to forgive, right? And what's that look like? And so many people have a difficult time forgiving. So here's two takeaways for you about forgiveness. The first one is that unforgiveness only hurts you, right? So the reality is that usually if someone's hurt you, maybe it's not even, maybe it's a parent or an aunt or an uncle, right? They are probably not sitting watching a video right now wondering, man, I sure do hope this person forgives me. They've moved on with their life, but yet when we're hurt, when we're offended, it's us that gets stuck. So if for no other reason, forgive just for your own benefit, right? Even if faith has nothing to do with it yet, forgive for your own benefit. And do that every time you can, because every time you forgive, every time you give someone that grace, what you really do is set yourself free as well.
Yeah.
And then the last one is why, if you're a person of faith, why forgive? Well, the reason is obviously because Christ forgave you, right? So we forgive because Christ forgave us. Forgiveness runs to you, and then it runs through you. And it's interesting to hear that for you guys mentioned a lot of faith kind of verbiage along the way, but it really hasn't been, you mentioned, until like the past 10 years or so, that your faith has kind of exploded. And so I wanted to end with this question. What about your faith? What has changed? What has evolved in your faith?
It has really, really helped me to have more grace and to not, because I mean, you go through the Army for so long, you have this military mentality and it's aggressiveness.
Right, perfection's the standard, anything less is
aggressiveness about everything. And, knee-jerk reaction, anger, knee-jerk reaction, frustration. You add into all that your traumatic experiences on top of, having been a drill sergeant, having been a first sergeant, and so on. Me being on this walk of my faith is complete, just like Paul says, renewing my mind. I feel like now we have a 7-year-old, our do-over, as we like to call him.
Get a fresh try.
And I'm completely raising him completely different from his big brother and sister, and that has been profound.
So, drill sergeant, so both you guys did that, or just
I did
you?
that.
No,
Nice.
just,
So,
I lucked out.
does she ever walk around the house like this, yelling at you much?
No, not anymore. No.
Well, if you're at home, we're going to close with a little bit of drill sergeant yelling. No, I'm just kidding. But thanks for tuning in. We're going to be back with another episode soon. Make sure to follow us. And as always, if you want more information, if you want to find ways that you can heal if you are in the military, check out RebootAlliance.com for more information. You can sign up to join one of the trauma healing courses, or maybe even start a course for you and your peers in your own community.
With over 10,000 titles, it would be impossible for us to show you everything on Pureflix.com. But let's give it a shot.